Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is October 25th, 2020. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security, and I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, so let's start with the SPX. And this has been the level that I've been watching, um, and has this cup and handle look to it. We now kind of came back and didn't even come back all the way to retest it, and it looks like the 23-day EMA, which again is still rising, so far is holding very nicely. I think that's definitely the bullish scenario. 65-day EMA still rising, price above all the EMAs that I follow, and volume starting to tick back in a little bit. I think that this could be a very, very um, bullish scenario if we get back above this kind of downtrend line and this cup and handle then eventually finishes, and there'll be much more to go higher. All right, so let's look at Qs. I have a little bit more analysis on. So there's the cup and handle and the uptrend drawn in for you. There's your handle. And with the Fibonacci's in here, it's only retraced to 0.618, which is a very healthy area. I mean, you see over here, though, volume is still kind of very, very lackluster going into this handle, which is kind of what you want to see, right? A low volume pullback. So that's a positive. Again, a breakout above this handle downtrend. That's your cheat entry. And your more traditional entry would be above this 297.50-ish level right there. But in all, still holding the bull case. Very choppy week last week, obviously. This was not a fun week. And when you actually drill down, growth got hit a little bit more than the rest of the market. So that's that was a little bit hard. But overall, this very tight sideways range on the closing basis, um, especially on a decrease in volume. I think that the Bulls now may have the ball and would like to see them kind of take it and run with it a little bit. IWM, so it kind of came back. These were some, a big level right over here, and it popped up, and now it's consolidated above this level. You had sort of a retest right over here. It held. All the moving averages are moving up. Would not be shocked if you get into this 170-ish area, and then we'll see what happens at that point. But at 170, again, getting up to 173, that's all-time highs. So slowly but surely, small caps starting to make some moves here. All right, so let's keep going. We're going to look at XLF, which actually plays a decent role in small caps. So small caps are moving higher. Chances are XLF will be moving higher too. Again, they're very important for, I think, the broader market as a whole. You still have this sideways action, but again, price is above all the moving averages, and however small, they're all moving higher at this point. Their trend is higher. A break above 25, we'll call it 25.75-ish. And I think that that we can easily catch this $30 range. So a move of financials to $30, that would be I think a very bullish scenario. And IYG, just looking here, these are the financial services, the big boys. I can easily see this go up to 137, even 140, and then we'll see what happens. So I think financials look pretty good for a little bit more of a move. Again, this was a huge level. If you've never seen this chart before, this is IYG. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, American Express, Goldman Sachs, they're all in this. And this was the financial crisis highs. And we came back in 2018 and tested it, broke out, false breakout, boom. There's your big fast move. Now we're calling back and trying to overtake this level again. So we'll see what happens. But I think IYG is something to keep an eye on in the financial area. Let's look at SMH. SMH, we're back. We're still on a weekly chart. So you see how there was 2000 highs and we broke out of it in 2019, retested it just this year, and boom, off to the races. We'll zoom into the daily chart, and you see it's a cup with this retest right here. It's still in the range of just retesting, has not broke down. It is below the 9-day EMA, but lower volume coming in right here. So a pop back above 145. I'm sorry, 185, and I think semis could be off the races. And again, if semis are off the races and financials are participating, chances are we are in a bullish market and a bullish trend, and things should be good overall. Looking at lumber, there's a divergence here that I was worried about. It's still kind of there, right? Still kind of there, but the market price action is holding up. So it means nothing unless we start rolling over. Price above all its moving averages, and all the moving averages moving higher. That's a positive. And so far, the 65-day EMA has deemed important. So even if it does roll over, it may only get down here. And then you kind of have this inverse head and shoulders look if that happens. So we'll see. But as of right now, lumber holding up, break higher would be the bullish scenario for sure. I wouldn't be shocked if we get some more choppiness, especially going into the election. Today's the 25th, so we got just a couple weeks to the election, and yeah. So I think that's, let's see, today's the 25th, and the election, yeah, it's the 4th. I'm sorry, it's the 3rd. First Tuesday of November. So you have really 10 days or so to the election. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of choppiness going on between now and then. Next up, we're going to look at SPX TLT, and this is more for risk on, risk off. As you can see, still in a strong uptrend. So it's hard for me to say risk is off. I think right now it's saying risk is on. Would like to see it kind of keep moving higher, but so far it looks good. Looking at credit. So I was worried about this false breakdown last time we talked. It then started to move higher. That was worrisome. But now we've rolled back over and we're retesting this area again. So again, another break of this area, that'd be the very bullish scenario. If we pop back up again, then we'll have to watch and see what happens. But again, it's underneath all its moving averages, so the trend is lower for credit, this credit spread, and I think that the more times the level is tested, the greater chance is to be broken. So even though this is a ratio chart, I'm still holding true to that, and I think this kind of a breakdown here means a very bullish scenario. The VIX again also has this little uptrend that it's trying to contend with. So we'll see what happens, if it retests this line, if we could break below it, or if we pop back up. It is still elevated. Doesn't mean go bearish. It just means that there's a little bit more risk in the market. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Put call ratio. Again, we started to get a little bearishness, nothing crazy. Obviously, and it's a relative, a little bearishness compared to this overtly bullishness put call ratio. And now we're just going back into a bullish range again. So, I mean, this is nothing, nothing bearish at all. Back in March, there was your signal to get long, right there. And it's been really a bullish ride since. So looks good. Last one, we're going to go over value line geometric index. It's held up pretty good. This is a more of a breadth indicator, and it's doing great. It's coming up to maybe some potential resistance up here. So we'll see what happens as it moves into this area, this 500-ish area. And we'll see if it can break through, if it needs to consolidate some over the next couple weeks, or what happens. So all in all, I think things have turned more bullish in general. We have our levels though to watch. Let's just get in here real fast and look at the cues one more time. You have your levels. We break down, and hold below 283. I think that's more of a bearish scenario. And then you're gonna start having some crosses of these moving averages too, which are starting to tighten up. You see price has been really ping-ponging between them on a closing basis. Break of this trend line, I think that's the more bullish scenario. That's as simple as it gets, right? So follow price, know your risk. We got 10 days to the election, and we will go from there. Anyway, hope you all have a great week. Take care. Bye.